Shalom. Welcome to A Faithful Life. My name is Amuna Yisrael, and this is day number 14 of the Proverbs Challenge. Out here trying to get some sunshine and fresh air, and it is feeling good. So I'll see you in a minute for what I got from Proverbs number 14. Yes, Shalom. So once again, welcome. I'm still outside. It's still nice and breezy, but to where you guys can hear me. So what stood out to me here was the first verse in Proverbs 14, which says, "A wise woman builds her house, but the foolish pluck it down with her hands." And as I always like to take it on many levels, she can build it up because the mother is responsible for so much. The father is responsible for a lot. And the reason why you hear me talk a lot about the mother, because I'm a woman and, well, I'm learning what the mother's responsibility is. She's responsible for that emotional building up of her household, her own emotional stability, to help contribute to the emotional stability of the children in the household, and the relationship that actually established the household would be between the mother and the father. So it says a wise woman builds up her house, starting from the very basis. A lot of the times our family falls apart because our relationship, the initial relationship that established the household, it was on the rocks from the beginning. And because of this, our family falls apart when we don't pay attention to. When some of us think that we're going to trap a man with a child, or we're going to force him into some kind of relationship. And nothing is worse than when a person doesn't want to be where they are. They're going to make the people there miserable, and they're going to make the children miserable, and they're going to make it a miserable environment. But it says somebody who's wise, they build their house up, but the foolish pluck it down with her hands. And it could be with her mouth. It can be with her actions. It can be with her thoughts. That you tear it apart. And it's not only the woman, although she's responsible for the interior of the house. This is on both parties who come together to establish, the nucleus of a family. Both parties are responsible for the breaking apart of the household. What also, again, pride is a big one to me. The ego and the pride. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall preserve them. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride. Pride, the ego. When we open our mouths, you just listen long enough and it just, like, ooh, I saw that. It's like, it just flies out. You're like, oh yeah, that's the ego. Or in Hebrew, the word, for serpent that we use oftentimes equivalent is Nacash. That's the Nacash. It just, this is how you know if it's Nacash. If you slightly brush somebody and you get an overactive response, that's the ego. They need to have a litmus test for what is the ego. If you just say something by the way, not with any ill intent or any malice behind it, and then they just blaze you, that's the ego. You done stepped on somebody's toe. Or as Bob said, you did throw your con, but you never call a phone. I went to phone, pick it up in ball. Yeah, you mashed this corn. So that one was interesting to me. It says, "Go from the presence of a foolish man." This is verse 7. "When you perceive not in him the lips of knowledge." You ever been around somebody and you're like, I don't even know why in the world I chill with you. And then every time you go around that person, you're scratching your head like, why am I here again? It might be that you're chilling with a foolish person. And the scripture here says, go from the presence of a foolish man when you perceive, or when you check it out after a minute, you say that there's no knowledge in his lips. Like, you're talking madness. And you have to do your face like this. What? What did you just say? And like, where are you sourcing your information from? That's absolute madness. And the scripture says, just done, because what it's going to do is, if you're a person, an analytical person, or a person who wants to fact check, you're going to be in arguments all day long, because they're the same stuff, and it's like, where did you get that from? Done it. Just leave. Just go from the presence of them so you don't have to argue. It says, "The simple believe every word, but the prudent man look well to his going." And I just said, we're talking about believing everything somebody's saying. There's some people, I'm one of them, when you tell me something, when you tell me something, I'm like, and where did you get that from now? And you heard that where? Not to be facetious, just because there's a lot of information out there. Some of it is factual and some of it is not. And I happen to just like to, fact check from time to time. And a lot of times when you get to a person who just likes to talk and repeat things that they did not validate, they get mad, and then the ego, it just blazes you up. So, just be careful for that one. "He that is soon angry deal foolishly, and a man of wickedness devices is hated." I know you hit it, baby. One moment. He that is soon angry deal foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. The first part in 17. He that is soon angry deal foolishly. Because the anger, you see something or you hear something, there's a moment, I realize that now. I'm going to tell y'all something. There's a moment that you could stop the anger before you get really angry. You feel it, it's like the temperature gauge is just rising, it's rising, it's rising. When you get here, you know you're about to go to the point of no return, right? So when you're going up like this through the levels, stop. Take a deep breath. Like Daniel Tanya says, count to 4. Not to say that you don't express yourself, not to say that you bottle it all up inside, but it says here, he that is soon angry deal foolishly. And it also says in another part, anger rests in the bosom of a fool. So before you feel yourself, somebody say, and you're like, what did you just say? Or what did you just do? And you feel yourself getting angry, then you lower it down. You count to 4 and you come down. 1, 2, 3, 4. You reassess the situation. You give your mind time to process. Because yes, the ears can be deceiving and the eyes can be deceiving. And maybe you didn't hear what you thought you heard, or maybe you didn't hear what you thought you heard. But what you could do is ask questions like, I'm sorry, did I hear you correctly? You understand? It gives an opportunity for maybe I misunderstood you, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to articulate in another way that maybe I could process better. And so these are some of the things that I myself am using to say, please come again. But the come again is not excuse me. It's more like, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Because when you go, excuse me, then guess what? They're on the defensive. And you don't want to get them on the defensive because next thing you know, you're going to be in an argument. And lastly, it says, these are all coming together for me. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalt folly. See, it was all a theme up in here today. That's why they all stuck out to me. It says, he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding. Because understanding, that's what I'm saying. You come again and say, I'm sorry, excuse me, because maybe I didn't understand. Maybe my ears didn't hear correctly. Maybe my eyes didn't see correctly. Maybe it's just me. So I truly want understanding, not in a way like I said, excuse me. That excuse me right there, you see this right here? The right here and the lip right here, like this, excuse me? Right there, the person is like, uh-oh, I just did something wrong. They got the boxing gloves on, ready to go at you if you say the wrong thing. So slow to wrath, to get understanding. Don't get angry quickly. Don't believe every word you hear. And don't be chilling with people that be talking madness, because all it's going to do is upset you. And please, if we are the person who's talking madness, we don't always have to remain the fool. What we can do is apply ourselves to wisdom, apply ourselves to understanding, apply ourselves to growing, because we don't stop growing until we die. So, you could be 90 and go back to school, or you don't even have to go back into a school building. There's so many books and so many information and so many people and so many sources that we don't have to remain a fool. I think sometimes we think, oh, that person is foolish. You don't have to stay foolish. It's a choice. And lastly, thank you for tuning in. Once again, if you have not subscribed, please do so here. And if you haven't seen 1 through 13, you can do so here. Thank you for stopping by, and you have a great day. Shalom.